I'm not an idiot, contrary to popular belief. Bam, it's cold, but I am at the shop. And guys, today I'm gonna go over, tell you what exactly I'm working on. Not really gonna do time lapse, honestly, kind of tired, really trying to get things done because I got major things in store this summer. I know every YouTuber says crap like that, but it's been a long time coming, guys. So the shop is looking good. It's so well organized now. Spent like 3 weeks going through everything, down to every miscellaneous nut and bolt hardware I have. Aiden, the young man that was in the slot car program and Red Patrol car program, he is working on the Indy car. The kid is brilliant. He's reading all the Carroll Smith Engineering Motorsports books, and currently we are working on that. So I'm really excited to help him through his journey, and I think this is going to help him get into any mechanical engineering school in the country he wants. So you can see right here, we're working on these massive trunnions here to take the load and portion everything, along with the billet dry sump pan for the K series, which is just a great cheap motor you can blow up and not really care about. Not really the best race motor in the world, but in this circumstance, I think it's gonna be really great for Genius Garage. But with regard to me, I am finishing up my Formula B here. Now this car originally obviously from the 60s. It's got the Lotus twin cam 1600cc engine here with the 2 side draft Weber carburetors. They're 45 millimeter. Those are original, sand cast in Italy carbs. Pretty neat, dry sump. Real delicate frame, honestly. A car from a time period where your best safety was not crashing, and being talented and respecting your other drivers, understanding how to do that and maintaining things well. But really neat car. It's technically called the Chinook, which is made up in Canada. But truth be told, it's a Lotus 59 body, and the frame is apparently a direct copy of a Lotus 61. So I just put a Lotus badge on it. Sorry for the 5 Chinook fans out there, but did a bunch of work on it here so I could fit. There was a tube that went straight across here, but I needed room for my knees, so I had to make that work. And then obviously the strength back here, these tubes used to be triangulated way into here, and that cut into my area for my shoulders. So I had to build that and really make it stronger with regard to that, and so I can fit it. So making myself fit, got a real nice new old stock Moto Lita steering wheel here with a quick release that takes out all the slop. So just good craftsmanship and workmanship here. So I fit in the car smartly and safely and can drive it and enjoy it. So finishing that up, gonna be driving it, pretty excited this year. I wanna go to the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix at Shenley Park and the Put in Bay race. It's real old school. Both of those events, like the 1950s and 60s, so excited. Dodge Viper here. Got the PFC brake calipers and rotors on it. Now keep in mind, these rotors came off, I believe, a Tesla and an Audi, because they were the largest one with the hats and the configuration that we could make work on this Viper. They don't actually offer a kit specifically for Dodge Vipers or the old Vipers, but I worked directly with their engineers to find things that would work. Now, truth be told, these are the best, biggest, most awesome calipers that exist for any production-based car, and it's, frankly, they're IndyCar technology. They use PFC calipers on modern Indy cars. These are 6-piston, titanium piston, monoblock machine, stiff, amazing. And all of their pad compounds are compatible, can be switched out with full floating rotors. These calipers actually only end up clearing the 18-inch wheels this Viper has, my forged wheels, by about 3 to 4 millimeters, so the minimum. So really maximize that, very excited. That's huge. And so the Viper, right now, going through what I call stage 1 of the track build. Now, when you're gonna take a car on a track, street cars generally don't make very good track cars, okay? Because they build them for the street. Now, some of them are good, but to be a track car, you need to be able to lap it at 9, 10 tenths without the car overheating, without it puking fluids all over the place, without the brakes overheating and fading away or not working, without heat soak getting in and loosening up bearings and just destroying your gearbox and motor. It needs to be able to sustain higher RPMs, even if you're a little nice to it. And truthfully, the old Dodge Vipers can't do that. They will overheat after like 3/4 a lap if they're already up to temperature. The brakes will fade, but beyond that, they're quite good. So obviously you got the PWR custom built radiator. Really excited because they're offering this radiator now for Dodge Vipers with the 2 giant brushless fans. And I'm blown away because the wiring, I know it's all strewn about right here, is insanely easy. Doesn't require any relays. Just need 2 50-amp fuses for them. You just wire that puppy in to ignition on and bam, ready to go. So really excited about that. They also did my oil cooler here, which fits in the stock location. You can see the beautiful PWR oil cooler right there inside. So I think the Viper's gonna cool beautifully, regardless of what I wanna do in the future. So now it's gonna cool. Now the brakes are gonna be exceptional. Also, I've got the KW, the German coilovers. They're 2-way adjustable on dampening. Got one adjustment up there, and the other one, I gotta remember where the heck it is. Hold on, there's the one. Where's the other one? Maybe 1-way adjustable and I'm crazy. Hold up, okay, maybe those are 1-way adjustable. Anyway, they're fantastic. KW is basically the highest quality you can get, and I'm perfectly content with that. They don't really need to be 2-way adjustable. This, after all, is my street/track car. You know, made sure all of the ball joints and everything are lubricated properly. I've got the transmission out. Gonna put in that McLeod twin disc clutch, which I put back in the box to make some room. Here is the clutch. It's gonna get a new slave cylinder and throw out bearing, just to be safe. You know, I could probably throw it in, but wasn't that much money to get another one. And I am putting a stock one in. I don't think that the McLeod clutch has a much higher effort required of the diaphragm. So I think the stock one will be fine for now. And frankly, I didn't want to get in having to drill and adjust and do all that crap for a aftermarket one. But there's the Viper transmission. It's T56. You can see the original Viper logo cast in there. This has been rebuilt once. And one crazy thing about these, especially the early ones, believe it or not, the T56 runs automatic transmission fluid. It's very thin. I think it has to do with the synchros and all. And apparently there's some gear rattle, bangity. And some people get in the street cars, my car's rattly. So then they said, okay, go ahead and put some thicker stuff in it. But I didn't know that back when I first had the car, I put in normal high quality gear oil. And the shifting effort was a little harder and ran it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, 5th gear is gone. I can't even put it in 5th gear. And apparently that wore it out in the synchros. So when they rebuild it, they're like, automatic transmission fluid. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. But apparently they changed it over a little. Now, it's got the B&M short shift kit on it. If you guys remember, I used to have kind of a different shift knob, but I decided to do something a little different. What I did was, I got a grade 5 bolt, 1/2 inch, a little longer one here. Just got myself an aluminum knob, probably from like Amazon, I don't remember. And a nut here that I turned, just kind of held on the, let the bolt spin in my hands on the belt sander. So it feels nice, you know? And I want it to be a little taller. So yeah, it does make it for a little bit longer throw, but people get crazy with their short throws and put on way too big a ball. So you got to get one that works ergonomically, that holds better, kind of a little bit more like old school racing stuff, Cobras, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, things like that. That's what that is. Got a real nice, it's all metal, all the way to shift-works. There's no plastic in here anymore. It's got a bronze bushing in here, so it's all metal. It's just a tiny bit of play, you know, that you're gonna have that. So this should be tremendous feel. And I can always change the length, but the beautiful thing is the steering wheel is gonna be right about here in the car, so it's gonna be right there. And just having just a little bit longer throw, I mean, I think it'll be a little more enjoyable. Just a little more fun on the track. And, you know, if I want it to be a little shorter, then I'll just make myself a new bolt. So it's the bolt here, this thread's right on. And then the bolt head here, if you guys can see, I simply just MIG welded to a nut that fits this thread, and there's a jam knot. So it's really easy. It's kind of fun to do that. So I'm excited about that on the Viper. I'm gonna put that back in here pretty soon. Was just sort of waiting until I had all the little parts because I got new ARP flywheel bolts to go in it. Got the new slave cylinder, just want to put it together all nice. And since I don't have a handbrake anymore, it's cable, these calipers don't have that, they're just hydraulic, and I frankly don't feel like going all the effort of putting that in. I got me a drifting handbrake with the inline Willwood master cylinder, which I'm gonna plumb into the rear brakes. So yeah, if I want to be a kook, I can whip that handbrake on hydraulically and slide it around and be an idiot. You know, or it's just an extra emergency thing if the front brakes go or something. I don't know, you know, it's just, I'll have it. It'd be kind of cool, you know. Oh, the kids like drifting, why not, right? Hello, fellow kids. Yeah, I'm like 80 years old, right? Anyway, also going to put a proportioning valve in up in this area. Don't want to get it too close to any of the headers or manifolds. Want to shield that a little bit. But the reason I'm gonna put that in here is because I have a beautiful remote adjuster. I actually found it with How Racing. They didn't sponsor the channel, but I'll show you. This is pretty neat. And what it does is, probably not gonna be able to do it real well, but when you crank this thing, where is it? Oh, come on, I gotta hold it differently. When you crank this thing, see that little indicator? That little green doodad? Every time you turn this all the way around, it goes to another number. And so when you're turning your proportioning valve, you don't really know where it's at. You don't really remember. But with this, I can put it on the dashboard real easy and go, screw it in. I don't know, like a bomb sight or something. And from World War II, right? And then I'll just know the number it's on. So that's really, really nice. Just a nice thing to have fun. And I think I'm gonna put it on the dash of the Viper where the idiot lights are, because it's a perfect circle, same size, just to, I don't know if you can see here, just to the right of the steering wheel. And then maybe I'll move the idiot lights somewhere else or just not have them, because I'm not an idiot, contrary to popular belief. Anyway, so I'm excited about that. So that's going to be what I call stage 1. The stickers are stage 15, but who cares? It's fun, right? So this will now be trackable. So I'm going to go out and test it, make sure it cools, make sure the brakes are great, make sure the chassis is fine, and nothing seems really kooky. I also took off the oil pan and modified it with trap doors to help any oil sloshing and starvation. So I need to check that. So like in Mid-Ohio, in the keyhole and the carousel being at least 180-degree corner, you run the risk of starving your wet sump for oil. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that for any starvation. If there is, I'm gonna have to put an AccuSump in, which is like an accumulator for the oil and give you an extra quart 3 to push through. It's sort of a Band-Aid in a way, but I don't want to put a dry sump in. I just want this to be my really cool hot rod street car, race car kind of thing, you know? But beyond that, so if everything's good and it's time for the next one, I want to do some more track stuff. What I'm going to do is draw the pan again. I'm going to put an ARP connecting rod bolts. Make sure that's good. I don't want a connecting rod bolt letting go. I will also do roller rockers in the valve train, because right now, I kid you not, guys, they're just like stamped steel garbage like the 1960s. So I'll put in good roller rockers, maybe a different rate, slightly different ratio, give me a little more lift, and better push rods, and adjust all that real nicely. And then the motor, it's gonna be really hunky-dory, as long as you don't just dog on it and get silly, but that'll really help out. Maybe we'll do a flash tune of some sort, and then I can go from there and futz with aerodynamics and stuff. I did find out if I do a Venturi tunnel here, why not? I can run the exhaust kind of like super slant cut, super shallow cut, some like boom tubes kind of from NASCAR, and make a full-blown diffuser. And I think that'd just be fun, you know? So why not? There's no rules with your track day cars, so why not have all the fun you would in racing, you know? And if it makes a difference, it makes a difference. If it doesn't make that much of a difference, who cares? It's still cool, right? So make a big Venturi and tunnel. And the other thing is I can put skirts on the tunnel edge, kind of like what you see on the edge of an escalator. You know, that little, it's like a long brush. Well, you can get that in different lengths. And I figured what I can do is spray like a silicone or kind of like a plastic on one side, so it kind of seals it with air. And I can run those on the bottom of the car, say, you know, anywhere from like 1.5 to 2.5 inches, like 3 inches if I want to get crazy on the bottom of the car. And you know, if it rubs on the ground a little or bottoms out, doesn't matter, it's just a brush, right? But it acts as an air wall. So it helps seal that Venturi tunnel at the bottom to the car. So, you know, you make some downforce, it'll be fun. And if I'm driving on the road and there's any water and misting, ain't nobody gonna tailgate you. And there'll be a big rooster tail, so that'll be a lot of fun. Also, the Hennessy wing does not do anything other than function as a picnic table, because it's not a proper airfoil. And some people have mentioned, Casey, why don't you cut it, put in a proper aerodynamic element, and all that. And I felt bad. I don't want to cut it. You know, I sell it. I don't want to take the time to mold it. But then I thought, you know what? The hell with it. If it doesn't do anything, what I can do is just leaf the wing, right? And I can just use the old non-real, it's not a real airfoil, guys. It doesn't really come to an edge. It's not really that thick. It's not a real airfoil. I can use this as the center. And I just have to think about it a little if I want to stiffen it a little bit on the inside or whatnot. And maybe like a Clark Y airfoil shape or profile. Then what I can do is bond the foam to it and shape it. And what I can do is make sure the leading edge is right here so the glass still clears when you open it up, right, the leading edge. And then I can choose my static angle of attack where I want and just form the airfoil shape right around this. Lay the composite right over top of it, you know, foam core. And then I can just sand it and do everything literally on the car right here and make a proper airfoil in the Hennessy wing. So I think that's the way to go. Because if I want to, I can hang a big wing on it like a proper race wing. But it's kind of neat. It's kind of a good look. It's got kind of like a sharky thing going on, kind of 90s period. I like that. And plus there'll be holes underneath there that the previous owner drilled between when I owned it first and I own it now. And I don't want to have to fix holes. I'm lazy. So why not just make the Hennessy wing functional, And then from there I can build a splitter. But the thing of it is, a big splitter that goes a whole way across, keeps the air out from under the car, but doesn't necessarily control airflow for maximum downforce. And I'll give you an example. So the Genius Garage, IMSA Corvette here, it's got this big carbon splitter, a couple inches off the ground, and under heavy braking, it rubs the ground. And I think you guys are gonna be able to see that, this real sharp, jagged edge. That's because it sort of wears itself right down. Well, if you guys take a look at, say, like a Porsche 962, or even some modern supercars and such, the middle area of the front, it's not way down low. It kind of actually curves upward and is smooth. But then it's down low on the sides. Well, on the sides, it does that to block the air from hitting the tire, because that acts like a wall, and then goes up in your wheel well, creates a pressure and creates lift. So the other thing I'll do, because the Viper hood has got louvers, I can just put a screen here or cut this out, and that will help relieve pressure. But where I was going with it is, when I do splitters, I'll probably just do it kind of in front, or air dams in front of the wheels. And then what I'll do, if you notice, the Viper is actually very low right here, but in the middle, it'll allow me to channel that air a little more under the car through where the Venturi tunnels are to help accelerate that airflow and create the low pressure of the Venturi tunnel, actually make it functional. Just great fun. Just something to do, when you're kind of doing your engineering and your fun. So that's kind of stages coming up. Obviously, you guys saw Formula B and all the organization that's gone in the shop. It's been really nice to be able to work. Really enjoyed Aiden coming in with mom and dad and stuff and checking it out. Looking forward to making a difference in his life and getting him into college. And also, this is kind of a neat thing I happened upon. I've got this awesome 3-liter Ferrari racing motor. Technically 3.4, was based on the 348, but you guys are gonna notice some things. It's got this massive dry sump structural oil pan used in a stress member chassis. And then these big studs here, there'd be big plates for this to be a stress motor. The other thing that's very cool, let's look at this induction. Obviously these are individual throttle bodies, but this is a slide throttle. And let's see if we can see it here together. I hope you can see this, guys. Let's look down in there. Can you guys see the slide throttles working? Isn't that neat? So there's absolutely nothing in the airstream when it does that. They're basically big cigar cutters. This is a 500 horsepower moil machine. Did I say that right? I was trying to make a joke, okay? Circumcision joke. Anyway, so they're big cigar cutters. So this is really neat. And this is the same family of motor that exists in the 308 and the Mondial. The Mondial is quattro valve. This is 2 valve. This is also quattro valve, but this is now 3.4 liters. And would you believe that the 3.4 liter crank with modifications is able to fit in those motors there? So you can actually build a 3.4, 3.5, or 3.6 liter stroker motor in the old 308s. Even the Ferrari 360 shares architecture of that. So it's really exciting, and 348 heads that are 4 valve bolt right onto the blocks of those 308s. Now, this motor is actually so cool, I don't want to take it apart and cannibalize it to make a hot rod. This is a very hot, very fast, awesome racing motor that I want to keep, rebuild, make happy. And this engine's so special, it deserves a car just for it. Something special. And an idea I had was, basically the spec of that motor is 1970s Formula One. Now, Ferrari typically used flat 12 engines that were 3 liter in their Formula One cars. But this is in fact a Ferrari engine. This family did exist in the mid-1970s. Keep in mind that 308 over there is 1977. And I believe the first year in production, the 3 liter V8 came out was 1975. So certainly within the spectrum of being a 70s Formula One motor. Now this one, similar horsepower to a Cosworth DFE. So you guys might be thinking what I'm thinking. If I can find an early 1970s Formula 5000 roller, aluminum monocoque, those cars, with the exception of them having 15-inch wheels instead of 13-inch wheels, really are no different than what Formula One cars were in the 70s. Some of the manufacturers, such as Lola, made Formula One cars. Same thing. The only real difference is Formula One cars have 13-inch wheels, Formula 5000 had 15. But at that point, who's counting? Because you can put tires on the same size. So I think you guys will see where I'm going. I said a while ago that You know, if you can't get into professional racing because you're not connected, you don't have a giant corporation behind you, you're not independently wealthy, that's okay. Go live your own dream, because a better dream would be, which costs less than just one season in like a mediocre Road to Indy feeder series. You could buy a Cosworth DFV original Formula One car from the 70s, go to all the best tracks in Europe, and just live your dreams, have fun, go to parties, meet friends, and just live those dreams beyond your years. Well, I'm not there financially. I can't afford that. But I know how to build something, and I'm clever, and I have this neat Formula One spec Ferrari motor from the 70s. So, find myself an old Formula 5000 roller. Why not build a 1970s Formula One car to the rules of the time period that's Ferrari powered? Not going to be a specific replica of any Ferrari, not trying to be that, but we have this wonderful, wonderful engine. And I think it's a great dream to live. Now, while it's not an original Formula One car, it's still a period correct car, still representing Ferrari and racing very well. So you're not going to be invited to the Masters historic racing, you know, all the original Formula One cars and stuff, but it's still proper. It's a Formula 5000 car with a period motor. It's actually less displacement. So there's no reason why in vintage racing, at least in America, they're not going to let you run with it, maybe in Formula 5000 class. And guess what? Formula One cars run in the same group as the Formula 5000 cars. So it doesn't really matter. You can build a beautiful, period, Ferrari-powered Formula One car and go race against all the original Formula One cars. So I think it's really clever, and that's what I want to do. It's going to take me a little time before I can, you know, swing getting the chassis and all. So, but that's kind of what I'm excited about. We'll see. The 308, I haven't dove into it yet. I'm going to show you guys that a little more. Did that earlier. Got some good ideas. Really want it to be a great cafe racer, and I think give it a loving, sympathetic restoration with the carburetors, and just drive the heck out of it. Who does that anymore? Nobody drives the heck out of carbureted Ferraris on the road. So really enjoy that. I want to get back to my roots from college when I was a part-time Ferrari mechanic with both cars. Show you guys that and how, you know, you can enjoy Ferrari. They're cars, you know, and I don't want to leave them out in the Rust Belt salt because they'll fizz like an Alka-Seltzer tablet or a cheap Alfa Romeo, let's be honest, because they're handmade and all. They really weren't prepared for all that corrosive qualities. But great cars, I think, a lot of fun. Of course, there's the Gallardo and the Viper, which are in great shape. I mean, heck, the only thing either of those cars really need is the Viper could stand an oil change. But living those dreams, here's the upper body from the Formula B. That's all ready to go. And there, of course, I built an exact replica of my childhood go-kart. The only difference being these wheels are white instead of chrome. So I got to put the throttle cable on it and adjust the torque converter alignment. It's ready to go. Make some nice memories with my kiddo. And I've got a Devon Jr. body coming. In kind of a seafoam green. So, you know, I'm going to start making my kiddo a little go-kart that we can enjoy together. But I hope you guys enjoy that. I am launching the Golden Shovel channel. Really, it's an opportunity. It's time to just get past all the absurdities of our time. Let's talk about things. The social, political, important things of our time. Don't want to get into politics and stupid politicians, but let's talk about the social issues and things and just cut through the BS. That's why I called it the Golden Shovel. You need a shovel to shovel through all that BS out there. So please go to The Golden Shovel or at Casey's Golden Shovel and subscribe. I'm going to launch that in February. It's been a long time coming. So those of you who've already subscribed and been waiting, thank you. But it's a scary thing to start talking about nowadays. People are, there's a lot of zealots out there. There's a lot of crazy people. A lot of people want to destroy your life just for disagreeing with them. So let's have a voice of reason. You know, let's talk about stuff. So still going to do car stuff on this channel, but what am I going to concentrate on this year? This, the place where I put my jacket, the Omega car, guys. Built this thing a decade ago. Just barely got it running and going. The initial test was getting over 80 miles a gallon. I think it's going to crack well over 100 like I decided. And frankly, I think it's faster in a drag race than that Dodge Viper. And I really want to do that because nowadays everything's so politicized. Basically, we got internal combustion, we got electric. The government, shall we say the left, wants electric. But we're all smart enough to realize that's not actually solving a thing for the environment. They're highly toxic. And you know, with all the mining and everything going on in different foreign nations like China, it really just seems like electrification is not really about the people and the best thing for all of us, but money out of one person's pocket and into another. So I think it's time to talk about my original concept, the Omega car, making a inexpensive, sustainably recyclable manufacturing technique that can work for internal combustion, electrification, hybrid, whatever it is, where your need is in the world, and make it all super efficient. So I think it's the time to do that, and this is what I'm going to concentrate on with my build in 2024, along with the Golden Shovel. So I hope you guys are excited about that. With the Viper build, I haven't shown as much because, guys, I gotta be honest, doing these YouTube videos takes a tremendous amount of time, and I gotta get some of this crap done and out of the way. Just get done and out of the way. I need a clean plate, want a clear path to move forward, to do the Omega car, talk about those important things going on, and enjoy it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the journey. It's gonna keep going. I feel reinvigorated, tried a lot of things lately, trying to make big things happen. Got kicked in the gut and the balls a lot of time. Basically everything didn't work, but at the end of the day, we can count on ourselves. And even if you don't have a plan right now, you put the best thing you can together. It's time to take action. So I'm gonna go swinging again. I really appreciate you guys being here, so stay tuned. Subscribe to Golden Shovel. Make sure you click that notification bell for this channel. Let's have some fun.